Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Interviews is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Drinks and Destination, a handy guide to the world of wine, spirits and more, along with a dip into travels around the world.
You're listening to TFG Interviews.
Well, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce this guest on our today's TFG interview podcast. It was a pre-recorded show. I met him on Tuesday. He's a on-court shuttler, but off the court he's an artist, a very good one, I should say. If you already know him, you must have seen all his sketches on his social media. And if you don't, you can check it out on our website, thefangrass.com. Now, for those badminton fans who haven't guessed him as of now he goes by the name Ajay Jairam. He has one more feather to his list of accolades. That is, he is at present the highest ranked men's single shuttler in India. Now, that's number 13th. I interviewed him, asked him a lot of questions about, how does it feel to be at that stage. And at this point, he's 29. He's not an upcoming shuttler. So though it's come too late, he believes that he still has it in him to take it forward and give his best in the coming days. And we've seen shuttlers do that in the past. We've also seen Arvind Bhatt, who at the age of, around 32-33, picked up a German Open title. We also are at the present still seeing Lee Chong-wei do well in the international circuit, and Ajay Jairam has a hell lot of things to do ahead. Now, he also speaks about his artistic side. He also reveals how he got into it and what he thinks of it. So all that you have is right here. So let's head on to his conversation. So you are at the moment at the best performance, I would say, because after a very long time we've seen Ajay Jairam in his best, and you've also been rewarded because you are Indian among the male shuttlers, you're top, to be precise, 13th. So how does it feel like you've, after a very long time, it's always talks about Kashyap, Srikanth and then Pranoy. It never came to Ajay Jairam, or a very few, there's a very limited period. Now again you've rose and they are quite far behind right now. So how does it feel at the moment?
I think the key, I would say, the past 1 year was that I've had a lot of consistent results. Like in the past, I've had really good spurts of performances here and there, but it's been, quite spread out. So there's been this one Dutch Open that I'd been in, then the Korea Open final. So it's not been a very consistent thing over the period of, let's say, 5-6 months. But I think that's happened this time. I think that's the result. That's the reason why I've rose to 13. So yeah, it definitely feels good, but I think I still want that big win, so that and that's what I think I need to break into the top 10, which is like my immediate target right now. So yeah.
Now, what made you settle in Mumbai? Because I'm coming to this question is because we've seen shuttlers across from wherever they are. They kind of leave their hometown and settle in Hyderabad and train at the Gopi Chand's Academy, and many crops have come in. So was this a personal decision, or did you not want to be at the Gopi Chand's Academy?
You mean you're talking about now or over the
period?
Well, actually, for close to 8-9 years I've been in Bangalore. I've been training in Bangalore. But yeah, I think initially when I was 18, I chose to train with Prakash Padukone in Bangalore. Okay. And kind of stuck on there for about 4-5 years. Okay. And then I happened to meet my coach Tom John. He has kind of actually always been integrated in the Indian circuit in one way or the other, because he had come to India to train at the Gopi Chand Academy back in 2005. That's when I actually first got to know him. But in 2010 he came for a short stint to Bangalore. Okay. Because he's pretty close to Vimal sir. Okay. And then he kind of told me to come to... he was the coach of Portugal at that time. Okay. So he said, he kind of asked me to train over there for a couple of months, and he said he would find me a club in Europe somewhere. So that would make it easy for me to play tournaments there and kind of improve my ranking. I was kind of struggling at that period because I was probably 80 or 90 in the world, or 70, 80, yeah. So then I moved there, and that turned out to be a very good decision actually, because his training really helped me. He's quite unique in that sense that he manages to get the best out of it. So when I moved there, and within 3 months my ranking just shot into the 30s. And he also found a French club for me, so financially also it helped a lot. So yeah, I think after that he moved to India. 1 year he was in Lucknow, and then he started his own academy in Bangalore. So I've just kind of been with him. But yeah, I think the last couple of months I just I've been in Bombay more. I just wanted to actually, I think I've been away too long. I just wanted to be here for a while. So I'm just trying it out, and I mean, it seems to be working right now. So yeah.
Since you mentioned the French Club Association, you were part of that. Why don't you tell us something in brief, your experience over there?
Well, I think Europe has a very good league system. But of course, the main thing would be Denmark, because it's of course the strongest European nation. And they have a very good league system. And then a few other countries too have it. I think Germany has a decent one. I've also played in the German league the following year after that. France has a league, not very big, but it's pretty well spread out. Like, it's a period of 8 months. And you have I think close to 16 matches or something over that period. And yeah, it's so it helps when let's say you're not in the national team, a little behind the rankings, and you want to make that big leap. It helps if you base yourself over there, and that way you can play for the club. They pay for your expenses and stuff. And Europe has a lot of smaller level tournaments happening. About maybe 10 to 12 that happens. So you can, get to play 6, 7, 8 tournaments over there, and that really helps your rankings, and you get some good wins, playing smaller tournaments. So in that sense, that helped me too. So I was training with Tom in Portugal, and I used to fly for matches in the French league. So that whole thing actually built my confidence a lot. And I think it shaped a lot of my career then.
Now, recently, Badminton Conclave took place, and all of you were part of it. It is also the first one after Mr. Akhilesh Dasgupta passed away, and then the new one coming up. So, if you can you just share what is exactly few things that took shape about, or what you all discussed about?
Yeah, I think the first thing when I heard about the conclave happening, I was quite happy and surprised actually, because never before as a president, been elected and wanting to interact with the players in the very first as he takes up the job. So that was quite encouraging, and it was quite nice actually, because he was there with a very open mind, and we could be quite honest and frank about whatever problems he faced and whatever we think needed to be changed for taking things forward. So in that sense, it seemed like a very positive start. And it was nice because there was just players. He had a separate meeting with the players, with the coaches, and so there were quite a few ideas, and a couple of them actually seemed to have already taken shape. Like, we've all received our prize money, which was kind of we had quite a bit of backlog in that respect. So hopefully, he also said a lot of things where he wanted to expand the number of centers in India, not just concentrate in one area. So if he could actually implement all of that, I'm sure it would help not just me, I think Indian badminton on the whole. So
so now people have been mainly shuttlers, if you go to see, because though badminton is slowly gaining, not slowly, but you can already say that it's been up there gaining all the laurels that India deserves, all the individual ones. There's still lack of coverage for the sport. Now quite a few players have been vocal about it. You yourself point out things at times. So what do you think as a player when you look back at it? What do you think? Why do you think Meera does that? I mean, according to a player, when he or she is sitting down and I'm taking stuff, but then nobody's really talking about it.
But I think if you look at it, I think badminton, in the sense the way it's been marketed, is not exclusively an Indian problem. I would say even at the world level, barring maybe a few countries where badminton is really popular, it's not very known. Even a tournament like the All England, which is probably the biggest tournament in the circuit, in the regular circuit at least, and yet I don't see UK or Birmingham, at least that's the city where it happens. It's not the talk of the town in that sense. So I think even the way it's marketed at the world level, BWF, I think a lot needs to be changed. For example, I think the way tennis is doing stuff, of course, it's not a recent thing. Tennis has been doing that over so many years and built it up. So I think something of that sort with a much more professional approach. So I think tennis is headed in it's a private thing. It's not a bureaucratic thing. So in that sense, if that shift, I think at some point needs to happen. And only if it's marketed at that level over there, only then you're going to see bigger names out of the the achievements that we achieved. So I think in that sense, I would say India actually. In India, I think if you're really big, then you're blown all over the news. Like let's say Saina or Sindhu, but anything lower, no one really wants to. I guess no one really makes their money out of it. So in that sense, Indian-wise also, I think definitely it could get better. There's no doubt about that. But again, I think the main approach would be somewhere in a more global stage.
Okay. Now, do you think what you've achieved at the moment is probably come too late? Yes, we know Lee Chong-wei is 34, who's still going as if he's just started playing. But one thing that probably he has and probably you lack in a way is consistency. Like he's shown continuously. So do you think that's what you've achieved the feat, like being 13th and is come a little too late?
I don't know.
Do you think age will catch up to you one day?
I don't really look at it that way, I would say. I think that doesn't really help to look at it that way. I think I've had erratic results over the past, and also I think I've faced injury issues which kind of delays, because I remember when I was in 2013 end, even that time I had I think 2-3 quarterfinals, and I was I think 20 or 21 in the world, and I had 6 months with no points to defend, and there was Commonwealth and Asian Games in 2014. But sadly then I got injured and had to 6-7 month layoff. So I think maybe at that time this same thing would have happened had I played on. But I think that's sport, that's life in general. So I'm quite happy that I'm still here, I'm still playing when Indian badminton is literally such a wonderful stage. So and like you said, I mean Lee Chong-wei of course is a whole different level altogether if you compare even any other athlete. So I'm still I think with the knowledge and resources that are available today, prolonging one's career to 34, 35 isn't as hard as it used to be. So in that sense, I think I still have a good few years where, and I really don't have a chance to complain that had I done it before, I could have done much better. So I think I still have a few good years, and if I can be smart about my training, be smart about the tournaments I play, I could, get that top 10, top 5 maybe even. So let's see.
Now you mentioned, I mean, it's part and parcel of the game. Injuries are something that is tagged along when you're a player, when you're an athlete. Now, do you think, and that we've seen that many now, for example, Kashyap is a good example for that. His ranking has really gone down because of it. So, do you think the association or the ones who are running badminton should probably kind of take a note of that? When you see a player getting injured, probably give him a little bit of freeway, saying that okay, take it easy. Probably we won't, your points won't be deducted because you're not playing, because there's a valid reason. So do you think something in that way will that help the players?
This is actually a very good point, because this actually was brought up in the meeting of the president about how in India when a player gets injured, he's kind of sidelined and it becomes that much more harder. Well, when you talk about the rankings, I think tennis has a system where if you're injured, there's something about protecting your ranking. I don't know how that works exactly, but badminton at the moment doesn't really have that system. So I don't think discussing that would be of any use. So, working with the current system, I think, if the association could, for example, when I was injured, I was forget being in the Indian team. I was actually out of the core group itself. And that's really, really sad, because when I was injured, I was number 2-1, like close that high in my ranking in 2021. And then suddenly 6 months later, you find that, okay, your ranking has dropped, but there's obviously a very genuine reason why it has dropped.
Yeah.
And then to actually be, you feel bad that you're just dropped, you're nowhere now. Suddenly, the association doesn't even treat you as a, part of this team. So, and then I had to obviously fund all my tournaments on my own before, and actually had to win the Dutch Open before being put back in the team. And that's not always easy, actually. I mean, it happens, especially when you're back from an injury. It takes time for you to build that level back. So yes, definitely, I think the association needs to look into that and provide a much more better rehab phase for the player, and give, like you said, a little bit of leeway so that he can play a few more tournaments in the team. And in that sense, I think Kashyap has actually been interacting with them, and he's been put in a lot of teams. So I think, that's something that needs to be done, surely.
Now, coming to the PBL, we first saw it in 2013 called IBL, and then we thought it would never happen because a lot of off-the-court reasons and everything. But it was a great thing that it started again. I mean, with a new name, and attracted, I would say, pretty more fans to it and more crowd. And since badminton was at the peak, there were more viewership. So, how was your experience like? The first season with Delhi Aces, you won the title. Tell us about that experience.
I can tell you about all three, actually. So the first IBL also actually was a big success in my eyes. I think that was actually the biggest crowd puller, if I'm not wrong, honestly. And that was actually a very exciting one, because our team won, and I think I played the last match of that thing. It was 2013. And then, as luck would have it, I think the next PBL also our team won Delhi. So I think I've been pretty lucky with as far as PBL goes. I've done well. Even this time, I think I had a very good chance to actually make it 3 in a row. But I think the last match didn't go according to plan. But on the whole, I think PBL has been doing really well. I think that was something that was needed for badminton to gain that extra mileage and popularity. And of course, as players, I think it helps so much. Financially, of course, it's a huge thing. And if you look at it, I think a lot of people watch the PBL. So it's literally like everyone keeps asking me, okay, when's the next one? When's the next one? And that kind of crowds which I see during this, I don't really see it in other tournaments. So it's very good that that's happening, because people get to know you, people start following your entire this. So in that sense, PBL has done a lot for Indian badminton, I would say. And I think. And this time was, of course, special because I was playing for Mumbai as well, and I always wanted to be part of the Mumbai team. So it's been a very good experience personally for me, all three of them.
So how has the last one been, like companionship with Pranoy being, and then you also had Sangji, you in the women's, and of course the doubles, the few top players were there. So how was it like, sharing the dressing room with all of these top players?
It was always great. All three, like I said, has been a very good thing in terms of team, because you don't interact in such close quarters, especially with players abroad. Pranoy, of course, I've been travelling all throughout, so it wasn't that new. But like in the first PBL, we had Taufik in my team, and that's something big for me, of course. And in the second one, of course, I think Rajiv was there in my team, and we really gelled along well. So it was fun. And this time, of course, there was Pranoy, Lee Yongdae, and Sung Ji-hoon. So it was a great experience in all aspects that way. It gets quite hectic because you're literally playing a match, especially this time you're playing, next day you're traveling, and you're not used to that. You're used to playing a week and then going somewhere. So in that sense it was super hectic but super fun. And definitely.
And do you think the hectic also played probably, or was it on the fun side, the points that was reduced, from 15 to 11? So how was that like for you as a player?
Definitely it becomes a bit more of, I would say like a gamble kind of a thing, but it's exciting. It's exciting, and that's and I think that's the only way you can have someone watch the entire tie without actually getting exhausted, because watching 15 best of 3 or 21 best of 3, it gets boring after a while, you know. So in that sense, yeah, it's a good change for a league thing.
Now, coming to probably off the court, your antics that we see. Now, what got you into sketching, and how did it all start and come by?
I don't know. I think sometime last year is when I actually started, because I knew I was decent at it because I'd done it years back. I'd made a couple of portraits then.
Did you study for it, or did you learn about it?
Not really. I think even now my technique in many places is flawed, to be honest. But yeah, so I
thought you would be able to make out, not the ones who are looking at it.
Or maybe a professional would. Even I think it's fine, but but anyway. So I think apparently, so it's quite funny how I actually. I wanted to actually. I've always been wanting to do something different, like sketch or something over the past few years, but never really got myself to get the pencil and paper and put that effort. Then I was in the US last year, and I was staying after the tournament. I went to my cousin's place, and my cousin's daughter, my niece, when I was at her place, she went back to her room and got a paper where I'd sketched her portrait years back, in 2008, I think, when she had come for my sister's wedding. And I looked at that and I was like quite impressed with myself. Like, oh, that's not bad. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I think I had a lot of time to spare. I mean, as players, you're done by 6, 7 in the evening, and then you have your Sundays off.
Right.
I just, instead of doing the usual where you watch TV, watch shows or go out, I wanted to engage in something which, a little more, I would say, meaningful maybe, I don't know. And since I thought I had, reasonable amount of skill in this aspect, I thought, why not? So I think the first time I was just thinking what to do, whose portrait to do, and I just saw that, okay, fine, Jack Nicholson, my favorite actor, why not? And I got around to it, and surprisingly it came out pretty well for the first, being out of touch for so long. And I was quite happy with that. And then I think from there I just started doing it a little more regularly. And then I got this thing of 3D thing, it just hit me. So yeah, it's been fun. I really enjoy that, so it's good.
Yeah, I think that was one cue when you were doing the Facebook Live, you and Pranoy. One of the fans asked, when can we see the exhibition? I think that was one thing that triggered me to probably think, let's do an exhibition on the...
Yeah, I saw your article. It was beautiful. Yeah, I really liked it, honestly. Very nice.
So do you really plan to do one day, make it big in that field
exhibition?
as well?
I was thinking, but
or taking sketching to another level.
Yeah, I've always been thinking that now since I really like it, and I think if you can always do what you're passionate about, then life is a game. I mean, it's fun. So yeah, I mean, I do have an idea, but I think I'll have to research it more and see where avenues can be, where I can actually do it a little more. I think so. Let's see. Hopefully something works out.
Okay, I think let's move on to something fun now. I have a quick fire questions for you.
Okay.
So I'll throw some words at you, and let me know what comes. The first thing that comes to your mind by listening to that word.
Oh, that's scary.
Don't worry, I don't have anything tough ones. Okay, let's start. Badminton.
It's a sport. I can't think of anything fun.
For you, according to you, what is badminton? Nice.
Explosive.
Okay. Sketching.
Passion. Oh shit, should be in the other way around. No, but okay, yeah, sure.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, intimidating.
Career best ranking at the moment.
I was going to say 13, but now I'll say 4.
Okay. Last bit. I would not include IBL here since we had a break and then it's a new form. I mean, a re-christened league came in, and then so I would choose. I would ask you, Delhi Aces or Mumbai Rockets?
Mumbai Rockets, yes. I'm Mumbai.
Okay. Well, coming to the end of it now, we've seen you've been on and off social media quite some time. It's a personal choice, and of course I'm not questioning about that. But what do you want to convey one thing that you would tell your fans?
About social media?
No, not about social media. A message to the fans in general.
I think if you're passionate about something, just go for it. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, you want to say something about yourself to them? Like,
About me?
yeah, I mean, as in, you are the best career thing, and they're probably looking forward. Along with you, are at the happy moment.
Well, I think I'm at my career best, and I think I've also enjoyed badminton much more over the past year, even, keeping the rankings aside. So I think if anyone can manage to do that, enjoy what you're doing, you do your best. So that would be my thing.
Okay, to end, would you like to recite any Jack Nicholson dialogue that you remember?
Oh, there's one very long one, but I don't think I can do that. No, it's too hard.
Any one-liners that you remember of?
There's one from one of my favorite movies, Shawshank Redemption. Hope is a wonderful thing, probably the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Okay, I think that's a good way to end the show. Well, that's exactly what I said, right? It's a great way to end the show with that dialogue of Shawshank Redemption. Now, if you want to know more about him, you can follow him on Twitter. If for those who don't know, his Twitter ID is Ajay_289. As I said, do check out the story that we did on him. It's an exhibition of his artistic side of his on our website, thefangarage.com. And you can also wish him luck for the tournament that's coming up next week, the Sundarman Cup, which is a team event, and he's part of the men's singles category. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're listening to us on YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon, so you get updates of our new episodes. You can also listen to our show on Audioboom, SoundCloud, and various other podcasting apps. Also download the IVM podcast app, and have a great day, folks. I hope you enjoy the show. Cheers.
Excuse me, भैया. Excuse me.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, ड्रिंक्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर जकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.